That boy is been.
Yes, people, you are locked in with your host Jay, and today we have another special review for you guys. And today we are reviewing the Air Jordan 5 times Off-White sale. The AJ5 times Off-White silhouette. There isn't too much of a backstory in regards to its history, but as you may or may not know, 2020 is the 30th anniversary of the Air Jordan 5 being first released. Hence why it's very likely that Virgil wanted to touch upon this silhouette in particular. We first saw this sale colorway back in February 2020 at Paris Fashion Week, in which was the same month that the other pair, being the black metallic pair, released also. With this pair in particular, as you can see from just the overall makeup of the shoe, it's very likely that Virgil nodded towards the fire red Air Jordan 5, in which was kind of like the basis of this shoe, as well as the other black colorway being a nod to the black metallic pair of AJ5s, which has previously released before. So the history is not too much, but all the same, a very lovely shoe. There's so many different aspects to touch upon in regards to the design of this specific silhouette. So first things first is we have to touch upon the material. So the material that is used is a synthetic ripstop material, in which you would have seen on various other pairs of Off-White and Nike collabs, such as the Air Force One. It is a material in which is very durable. As you can see, it has sort of like a corrugated mesh type of feel to the material, in which it's a material that is quite easily frayed. Bearing that in mind is that Virgil wanted the shoe to have a very deconstructed look. So this material, as with wear, it then begins to fray over time, which then gives it more of an aged look, in which is exactly what he was trying to achieve with this silhouette. Also, as you can see on the tongue, we have a 3M tongue, in which, for those of you who don't know, 3M is a reflective material. So in the night time, or when taking a picture with a camera with flash, they will then light up. So with this being a pair, being a deconstructed pair, there are many people who are actually cutting these holes out of their trainers. Regular zip tie, in which comes with all Nike times Off-White shoes, but as you can see, this one is very yellowed. That's the sort of feel it's giving, and of course the shoe is made to look like it's a little bit aged. You have your typical 23 branding towards the heel counter, as you would always find on AJ5s, and on the back of the heel counter you have the Nike Air branding. Essentially what Nike and Off-White have done, they've essentially oxidized the soles in advance for you, which I think really gives it a really sick look, to be honest. It also has the fire red accents along the sole here. Put a pair of these on myself, so I'm gonna be honest and I'm gonna tell you that I can't tell you exactly how comfortable they are. But what I will let you guys know is that in regards to the tongue here, the tongue is a lot less padded than your usual Air Jordan 5, as well as around the ankle collar here. But I've spoken to quite a few people who have picked these up and have started to wear them, and they say they feel just like a normal Air Jordan 5. In terms of the sizing, I would definitely go true to size. This is a Jordan in which I don't believe you would have any problem, in which whether you have narrow feet, wider feet, true to size would be the way to go. So retail price on the AJ5 times Off-White was £190 RRP. Your other Jordan 5s in which have released this year, which aren't collaborations, and the usual across the board this year, has been a retail price of £165. In regards to resale, so resale prices are currently fluctuating anything between £480 to £550, dependent on your size. It looks like larger sizes are going for a little bit more, to the higher part of those prices. So if you are trying to pick up a pair, I would probably say try to grab a pair now. As you can see from the pair that dropped in February, they were also around the same type of resale prices, in which they've now gone up to around the £600 mark. So it's likely that when everyone has their pairs coming in, that's probably the best time to try and purchase while, you know, sellers are trying to undercut each other. You might be able to find yourself a little deal, but it's up to you if you believe that the resale is worth paying. Okay, so my overall rating. I would, you know, it's a little bit tossed up between a 3.5 and a 4. But I would go for maybe a 4. Reason being, I really do like the colorway. As opposed to the other colorway which released earlier in the year, the black metallic sort of colorway, I wasn't really too big of a fan. They looked a little bit too plain, but I really like the, you know, the aged look that Virgil has given the shoe. The sole especially, I really do love. All of, you know, the eyelets for the laces have been yellowed. The lace lock has been yellowed. The zip tie has been yellowed. It really does give you like an aged vintage kind of vibe to the shoe. The price point was a little bit high at £190, but when taken into consideration the sort of prices that they're reselling for, you know, it can't be, it's not too bad. The only thing that I don't like about this shoe in general is one, you know, the sort of holes in which the shoe has, in which can be cut out. It is a cool feature of the shoe, but I'm someone who likes to throw on any crazy type of pair of socks. So there might be a certain day that I might wear a pair of socks that don't match, and that's going to be very visible to anybody who looks down at my shoes if I'm wearing this pair. The second thing that I'm not too big of a fan of the shoe is the fact that the material frays very easily. Obviously, it's purposely been made that way for it to give it that used vintage type of look, but I'm sort of someone who's quite OCD with my shoes, and I want my shoes to look as fresh as possible for as long as possible, no matter how much wear I'm giving them. So those are the two factors in which, you know, weren't able to make it a 5 for me, but taking into consideration everything else, I'm gonna end up giving this shoe a 4 out of 5. So that's it for another review. You were locked in with your host Jay. Be sure to comment, like and subscribe. Make sure you follow us across all of our social media channels, from our Twitter to our IG to our YouTube, and now we are also on TikTok, in which you can find us at Trainerheadz 24/7. We'll see you guys again soon. Peace.